So today, we're going to talk about something called PharmaBridge. It's a fascinating piece of tech that's all about putting powerful medical intelligence right where it's needed most, what they're calling at the edge. It's pretty cool, so let's just dive right in.
So let's kick things off with a really big question. Imagine this. What if a doctor's best tool, the one they really need in a critical moment, could work even when the internet doesn't? I mean, anywhere, anytime. This is the exact problem PharmaBridge was designed to solve.
And to really get why that question is so important, we need to step into a real-world situation. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of a doctor on the very front lines of rural healthcare.
I want you to meet Dr. Sharma. She sees 60 patients a day, 60, in a super busy clinic in rural Punjab. And this quote, it just says it all, doesn't it? 90 seconds. That's all she gets between patients to reset, review, and get ready for the next person. There is just no time for tools that are slow or clunky.
Okay, so you've got this 90-second window, right? Now let's throw a huge wrench in the works. 70%. That's the number of rural clinics in India that have, spotty, unreliable internet. Just think about that. You desperately need to check a drug interaction or a dosage for a kid, and your tools just die because the signal's gone. So what does that mean? It means all the digital tools we have right now, they're basically useless in this situation. I mean, you have to find the right app, log in, type out your whole question, and the whole time, you're just hoping the connection holds. In a world where you only have 90 seconds, that feels like an eternity. It's just a non-starter.
All right, so that's the problem. And this is where things get really interesting. This is where a new way of thinking comes in, one that actually starts with the doctor's reality. It builds the tech to fit their world, not the other way around. And you can see the difference right here. Look at the old way on the left. You need special apps, you're stuck typing everything out, and you absolutely need the internet. Now look at PharmaBridge on the right. It works inside WhatsApp, something doctors already use. You just use your voice. And the real game changer? It's built to work without the internet. The best way to think about it is like having an AI medical expert right in your pocket. It's on call 24/7, always there, ready to go, inside the one app you're probably already using to talk to everyone else. Okay, so that all sounds great, but how does it actually work? Let's walk through a little demo. We'll see what it looks like when you've got a connection, and then, the really important part, when you don't. All right, let's set the scene. Dr. Sharma has a patient with diabetes. She needs to double-check a drug interaction, and she needs to do it fast. So she just opens up WhatsApp, hits record, and asks her question in a quick voice note. No fumbling with keyboards, no searching through menus. And bam, almost instantly, she gets a super clear, actionable answer. It comes back as a voice reply she can just listen to, and also as text she can glance at. We're talking seconds here. This is what it looks like in online mode, where it's using the cloud to get that verified answer. But, and this is the big but, this is the moment that changes everything. What happens when you see that dreaded no connection message at the top of your screen? Does the whole thing just become a paperweight? Okay, let's try another one. This is a critical question, right? A doctor needs the right dose of amoxicillin for a child's ear infection. The internet is totally down. What does she do? She does the exact same thing, taps the mic and asks her question. And the answer, it's instant. And I don't mean fast, I mean instant. There's zero lag, no waiting at all. And how is that even possible? It's because the AI and a whole database of core medical info are running right there on the phone. It doesn't need to call home to a server 1,000 miles away. You could be in a village with no cell tower for miles, and this would still work. So let's peek behind the curtain for a second and see what's making this happen. This whole concept is called intelligence at the edge. It's actually a really elegant 4-step process, whether you're online or off. First, it listens and turns the voice note into text. Simple enough. Second, the AI dives into its knowledge base, either in the cloud if it's online, or from the database right on the phone if it's not, and finds the right info. Third, it spits out a clear, simple answer. And fourth, and this is the clever part, whenever the phone gets back online, that local database automatically updates itself in the background, so it's always getting smarter. Now, for you tech folks out there who might be curious, this whole thing is powered by some really cool stuff. It uses Whisper for the voice-to-text, a technique called RAG to find the right information, and a surprisingly powerful little language model called Phi-3 that actually runs on the phone. And that's the secret sauce, right? It uses the cloud when it can and the edge, the phone itself, when it can't. Okay, so that's the tech. Pretty cool, but let's zoom out now and think about the big picture. What could a tool like this really mean for rural healthcare as a whole? Well, the potential scale here is just massive. We are talking about over 1 million doctors in rural India alone. 1 million doctors who are dealing with this exact same race against the clock with spotty internet every single day.
So the vision here is pretty clear. First, you get rid of app fatigue. Nobody wants to download another app. This just lives in WhatsApp. Second, because it's offline first, it can actually make an impact in the real world, where other apps just fail. And the end game here? Well, it's to basically turn every doctor into an instant expert and give every single clinic, no matter how remote, the support of a medical rep.
And it's really worth pointing out where this idea came from. This wasn't just cooked up in a lab somewhere. It's actually an award-winning project that came out of a medathon, like a hackathon for medicine, run by Plaksha University and Indegene. It just shows that amazing things can happen when you bring academia and industry together to solve a real problem. I think this line just sums it up perfectly. PharmaBridge. It's the AI medical rep that never leaves your pocket. It's always on, always ready, always there.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. This whole thing is about way more than just medicine. It's a blueprint, really. A blueprint for how to get critical knowledge to the people who need it the most, no matter where they are or whether they have internet. So when information can finally, truly work anywhere, you have to ask yourself, what other impossible problems in farming, in education, in disaster relief can we finally start to solve?